All right, here we go. Heading into game number 2 on a board with Team Applejacks. A fairly even split here for the dropship pathing is going straight down the middle of the map from west to the east. And so the priority for rotation is going to, of course, be down to a lot of these teams here on the western side. They'll be able to land first, loot up and everything. It doesn't seem like they have a beacon for this one over at Tree, unfortunately for them. That means they're gonna have to move quickly here, and we'll see if there are any other beacons in the area. But Applejacks currently are leaders after game number 1 with 27 points. We'll see if they can keep this one up as they are just continuing their loot path. Let's go ahead and swap around to other teams to see exactly what's going on. Maybe check on board with Team Intel, or no, it's Team Vibes getting themselves into a fight right now. Act does hit for the blue, but it's Mooney who's out by himself. So South State starting it all off, getting that first knock. And already things are looking great for them as South State. Last week, we have to talk about them. They took second place. They had a huge second half. It was their first half that was a little bit faltering, but already they've outscored their first half from last week. 8 points compared to the 7 points that they put on the board across 3 games. And so already South State are looking to start things off strong now as Pride does go for that peak and get that thirst onto Mooney. They will continue this push onto the 2-man now as Pride will go ahead and push up as soon as the info is gone for the squad above them here, as the scan was already used. And here comes the peek out now from Pride. He does get cut off by that Arc Star. Now, with Mercy only climbing up to the top, it's going to pull the attention away. Bronzy is here as well, and great coverage coming up from South State, covering every single angle here, baiting them out, and Pride is able to take advantage.
You can see how smart Pride is just based on the information that he's getting, and as you see a look at where this zone is going to pull, another unpredictable zone, but how he was able to methodically go up there and basically bait Bronzy for the free shots, and then once the second knock comes through, he's able to basically create a little bit of havoc because the callouts are just too fast, and that creates a little bit of a miscommunication on where everybody necessarily is. And then Bronzy just drew so much by climbing up over towards the side. They took 3 different angles, but they all did it staggered perfectly at the right time. Let's see what Applejacks is going to be able to do, and if any third parties are going to come through here. Aves doesn't have the best combination overall. The 30-30 with just this type of sight isn't ideal. Once he lands one shot, I'm sure they are going to start to push on this. And then you could expect we the people to probably put a bubble in between if they were. But now that team is going to run, and it looks like it's a full 3-man squad. So there's the initial damage. Doesn't look like they're interested in charging. And unfortunately for Applejacks, like you were saying, they don't have the scan. And if they did have the scan over towards the tree side, they would be making a lot faster moves. But they're not in any rush over here. They're just going to continue to craft, make sure that they're completely looted up, and they're going to play the edge. Team Rockstar, however, over towards the Skyhook side, and I believe this is the same fight that we saw before.
Yeah, we'll see Team Razor. Now, they do have the gold armor at the very least on one with the blue, so very similar in terms of HP. Matt Pickett goes for the peak, does get cracked as TEQ tries to hold down the roof. But now, as the black hole does come in to slow things down, Rockstar still controlling the roof right now. As you can see, they are a little bit disconnected. They do have Matt Pickett on the low, but here we go. Scans out, and it looks like Razor are going to try and make the push up through the stairwell. A lot of fights taking place across World's Edge right now. We're already down to 18 squads, by the way. It could be 17 very shortly. Bronzy, South State continuing their push, finding another knock. He does go down, but it is a 2-for-1 exchange, and South State will pick up another 3 kill points. So an amazing start for them as Team Cruelty find themselves in a fight. This was a third party coming out from them over here on the northeast side of the zone, as Scissors was able to finish off Messiah, and now he's setting up the high ground angle with the EVA 8 out. They lose out on Moosin. Scissors needs to get involved right now. Scissors has gone down as Razors finally pulled the trigger on their fight, or maybe it was Team Rockstar pulling the trigger on them here, forcing out the Q from this Wraith as Hakula will go ahead and chase after him. And it looks like with the 2v2, now there's the advantage going on over towards Team Rockstar. It's the 1v2, Hakula dropped down to 1 HP, and Rockstar will win out this fight once again here at Skyhook.
Really sneaky play from TEQ to go and put this portal and hit his Q, so he just creates so much commotion and makes multiple players charge him. And then because of that, they created a little bit commotion, and they were able to collapse on these players and find out exactly who was split as the chase was going down. So really nice team fight coming through. And unfortunate back-to-back losses as Team Cruelty looked like they had the upper advantage. Scissors missed a little bit of his clamor. They had the 2 versus 1 over towards the side, and now Senpai is going to have to dip out of here. It was strictly coming through with the just nasty amount of damage, basically taking on 2 players at once. But now Applejacks, again, back over towards the tree side, looking for another skirmish. You're going to take the roof over here. Abe's is going to come out with the initial damage. They do have the advantage right now if they want to go and push this one, but this is what we saw before. They're going to take their time. They're going to make sure no third parties come through. Rollers is not just scanning for the players that are inside. He's also scanning for multiple players that are coming out from any different type of areas. So now it looks like Aves is going to back off. They're going to try to relocate here. They know this team is fairly stuck, but they do want to make sure that they take different angles in case anything crazy is going to happen. So very smart play coming in. Not getting too aggressive, as Team Applejacks did have a great game 1, and they just don't want to drop a goose egg here. So they're going to back off, do what they did last game, which I think they had the Prowler, and it seemed to be pretty useful. It's going to be a gold helmet instead, and just a battery. So Monka.
Yeah, it could have definitely been better, but yeah, Applejack's backing way off this one. The timing on this fight is just not looking the greatest. They could get third-partied, but as you can see, we're already down to 14 squads remaining. Everyone already making their way on in to the zone now, all the way on over to Harvester currently. It's Team Cheez-It who have this position in the connector area from the north side of Sorting. Scan comes out from Rakanishu. Don't know if that fight took place. Team Cheez-It versus Team Intel. If we can swap around to check in with the other squads, we're already down to 14 squads, so maybe that fight did finish off. We don't have any kills for Rakanishu. Well, maybe we'll take a look at Joey Blackout or Prodigy Aces. Anyone else? Thank you. As Turtle Club find themselves, it looks like, in a fight over here at Train Yard. They do have a crossfire set up. Case Swinney and Nasky taking some damage as Nasky going to go ahead and pop that bat for himself. And so this is going to be difficult to try and push that high ground, but Case Swinney is on that horizon. They can try to challenge for the height with the gravity lift. Here comes the Arc Stars first, and if they connect with any damage, it might be the trigger for them to go in, as it's still difficult push now for Turtle Club here. Now they do have all their utility really to work with, but looks like they're not really favoring this push. They're still keeping an eye on it, Tom. Decent damage out now from Rambo, but they're calling it here. They do not want to push Rockstar, and Rockstar want to try and turn it on them. As their back is exposed, you have Rockstar dropping down, getting some decent damage off, slowing them down. But it looks like the distance has been made and they can just back off. Oh boy, Nasky with a huge spray with that R301, taking out Crummy. Gold backpack res does come out for them, but the black hole has been dropped down as they back away with that Q. The gold bag res is going to help them get instantly back into this fight for now. But you have Turtle Club trying to get aggressive off of this with the EVA 8 now. They're going to challenge for the high ground here as Case when he tries his hand at taking the height. Hits for the 40 onto the Wraith, but he's been cracked and he goes down. TEQ picks that one up, as now it will be the 3v2. The bubble has been used by Turtle Club. It's all up to Nasty left in this 1v3 as he gets challenged and he gets taken out. Rockstar with another team fight win.
What an interesting turn of events right there. TEQ really doing a great job, just taking, again, a lot of the attention from all 3 players of Turtle Club. He goes and hits the Q. So many grenades were used. Then he goes and takes the 1 versus 1 over towards the height, which is really risky play, but because he gets that, that gives them a huge 2 versus 3 advantage. Matt Pickett with the great spray after staying alive and hitting the scan and getting the res as well was extremely useful. Team Intel looks like 6 is going to be going on to the Pathfinder, so interesting composition coming through as they are going to get the knock onto Mercy only. That's going to be the Massive in hand, and most likely knowing South State, they're not interested in taking this 2 versus 3, but we'll see what ends up happening. Metro with unlimited Arc Star is going to toss a couple over there. Panders is going to be a little bit overextended, but on Wraith, he's still staying within that Q distance, and he still has more Arc Stars in the back pocket for Metro. Looks like they're not going to be able to get that finish onto South State. I'm not quite sure how they were able to get out of there.
Yeah, 6 just holding the back angle right now because they do have to worry. It looks like Pride was finished off, and Mercy did get res. He's popping that Phoenix kit for the time being. As they back away off of this one, we might have an opportunity, but never mind. There's the scan, another team coming in. So this duo has to run away off of this one here, and they might just get pinched off, but we'll see. Intel not full committing onto this. As you can see, they were worried about the other teams coming in. So we're now down to 13 squads. There is an opportunity for South State. Never mind. Never were able to pick up Pride's banner, unfortunately for them. Now here we go, joining on board with Pop-Tarts, who are playing the edge here. They have a team coming in with the balloon. That's free shots, almost cracking that blue armor is Stumps, as they are still redeploying off the back of this one. But time has been bought. It looks like that person should have been able to heal up his armor now, as Pop-Tarts still not full committing onto this one. They are kind of spread out. Lucas all the way on the south side there, finally converging on this squad, but they've pushed into the choke already, and you're pushing up to the high ground. You got to be careful here. So Impulse backs off as his Beast of the Hunt still has some time left on it, but he was in the middle of nowhere. Defensive bombardment about to go down as well, now making their moves during this rotate. Unfortunately, the timing just was not there. The reaction from the rest of the team was not there. And so these kill points will just run away from them for the time being. They're going to try their best to gatekeep here. Stomps, utilizing this headshot angle, will throw down that defensive bombardment as the nades are coming out from the other side. Impulse and Lucas force the full heal here. We do have some connects coming out from the defensive bombardment, forcing out that bubble as well. One player disconnected, and they're going to try and full swing onto him, hitting for flesh now, forcing him behind the cover. They're going to go for that wide swing. Unfortunately for them, they were not able to get the knock. Finally, it comes through onto Kimchi Lee, but during all of that, Strictly pushes, gets the knock onto Impulse. Lucas is taking a lot of damage as well, as he does go down. Strictly is a one-man army, popping that Q to get into the zone for now, and he still has to contend with Stomps as he pushes forward. Finally answers back, and he takes that one out. He doesn't have his bubble. He will not have the fast res, but he keeps his team in the game. We're now down to 12 squads, 35 players remaining.
Nice job by Stomps there, holding it down. I thought they had an opportunity when that team was flying in to use the defensive bombardment a little bit earlier, but instead they were able to survive throughout all of that, and thought Strictly was going to be able to pull this one off again in the 2-versus-1 scenario. But you saw the great aggressive play on that Gibraltar. Is just going to be a little bit too much. Team Pop-Tarts now going to be able to rotate and live just for a little bit longer. We'll see exactly what their rotation is going to be. But Applejacks has the high ground on this team at the bottom of the ramp, and that's always a great position to be in because you have such great head glitch angles, and We the People is going to be the one that go and utilizes that with the Gibraltar shield. And you see what Abe's thought process is. I have to go and check the right-hand side, make sure they're not moseying their way on up here. While that's happening, Rolders is also watching their back. Casper getting a knock for Team Rice Krispie Treats. That's going to be with the scout onto Swervesy. Team Cheez It now with the rotation coming in through from this sorting factory hallway is a little bit difficult because they are going to be dealing with tons of teams that are trying to make their way through here. That is Team Intel still in the vicinity on their late rotation. We'll see what they do. They have that zip line going up over towards the high ground. Looks like they want to go and play this one. Panda's going to get aggressive. They do need a big game after dropping the ball in game number 1 and losing their 50-50 against Cheez It. But this is the same two teams now fighting on the same exact plane as before, but this time they actually have loot, Jamerson.
Yeah, Cheez It were able to get this position early on and then forced Intel to play on the outside throughout all of this, as Panders does go for the peak, does some damage, but they're starting to run out of time, and at some point they will have to full commit onto this fight. They haven't done enough to really clear the barrels and make sure that it's completely safe for them here, as Panders is now backing off after that scan. But with 20 seconds left to go before the ring starts closing in, you can see Intel trying to make their way on in. Team Cheez It can just play this game where they just back away from position to position, pop the barrel, slow them down, allow the ring to pressure them here. So Intel need to do something, and it looks like it's going to be the full commit as the zone starts closing in. Here comes the defensive bombardment down on top of them. I don't know if there's any connects, as that thermal sight will help out just a little bit, but here comes the full push out from Cheez It, as, oh boy, Team Intel have gotten wiped up. 2 of them now. It's the 1v2 here, and it will be Cheez It taking the team fight win once again.
I feel like once Intel saw that this is a caustic team, it's so hard to go and push that one. You saw the defensive bombardment, the swing in from 6, but now Team Rockstar coming in. It looks like a nice third party is going to be able to be here. And can Crummy go and land this black hole? Looks like he's going to go and save this one because they realize that they already have these players on the ropes. If he's going to toss it, he's going to toss it now. But they already have multiple shields down. This is Team Nestle. Pure Life. Pickett, though, is taken down over towards the side. This is going to be a 2-on-1 situation. Let's see if TEQ can hunt him down before the thirst comes through. Crummy getting into a little bit of the skirmish, and they are going to be able to finish off the last player. Crummy now the kill leader with 4 overall. Rez coming through onto Pickett. Remember, he's the one with the gold backpack, so he's going to have to heal up and get some armor swaps throughout all of that. Applejacks, looks like they weren't interested in going all the way for a third party. Nestle Pure Life does get those kills, but they're already dead, so they're not going to actually show up on the scoreboard as TEQ continues to get some more knocks. Rockstar now running into Team Rice Krispie Treats.
and they do get the knock onto Casper along with the Thirst. Applejacks playing this a little bit more conservative. Aves was considering using that port to try and punish that squad, but it looks like they were already finished off. This is going to be a classic thermal station ending as it does pull away towards that northwest snake. We're down to 8 squads, 22 players remaining. Wondering if that's 2 squads as a duo or if that's a rat. Maybe we get our first Tomcat rat cam. I know in just a moment. Team Pringle still alive here into the late game now as they're playing on the northeast snake position here, and so they will have to start moving. They've got a team ahead of them. Good damage out, and with that flatline and the anvil shots, they do have another team to their south that they have to worry about as well. Let's see, Press does notice that one, and he will keep his attention drawn over there. It looks like it was just Applejacks playing off of sites, trying to find some information, trying to find some angles here as the shots do come out, not quite connecting this time around. But with 40 seconds left to go, their priority now has to be on the rotates. You can see the ping start coming down, start playing, try to find a position over there by Snake. RKT, Rice Krispie Treats, did lose Casper early on. We saw that. They were possibly trying to come in for the third party up against Rockstar, but Rockstar swatted that one down. And so missing out on your Bloodhound for this late game is quite detrimental, especially when your Gibraltar is almost kind of nerfed in this position. He does have its defensive bombardment, but you're playing in a position that has plenty of cover. Applejacks, looks like we're able to try and take a fight. Mercy only gets a knock on to Crummy here for Rockstar as they were making their way on in. TEQ with a huge 77 with the hit 22, and then they take out Bronzing. So that was a duo just running around. There's another duo here involved, and it's going to be Team Rockstar controlling the highest of grounds here in this ring.
And this is the first time we've seen them use this specific composition to maximum effectiveness. A lot of times you're going to see Matt Pickett switching between about 2 or 3 different legends. We've even seen him bust out the Horizon. We've seen TEQ go and play on this crypto. But we didn't have time to talk about that because another fight is going to be taking place over here. It's going to be the battle of the snacks, and it looks like Pringles is going to get the better of Team Cheez-It right there, but you do have the zone coming through, and this is zone 4, so that's going to completely rip apart. And now Team Applejack's trying to take advantage of that. Nice positioning, big spray, 136. He does take around the same amount of damage throughout all of that too. Now We The People's going to set it immediately. Armor Swap is going to be there. He hits a big, almost 200 spray, but it's, again, not enough damage to go and finish him off. And now with just a little bit, oh, it's Lucas in a 3 versus 1.
Wow, they just kept dropping down, and Lucas was able to connect with those shotgun shots. Rice Krispie Cheats not dropping down quite yet. We're down to 4 squads, 9 players remaining. We've got the duo and 1 more duo as well, I believe. Man, what an interesting turn of events here. As yeah, Lucas is just down to a solo, never mind. And so yeah, we have the 3v3v2v1 as the Tomcat Rat Cam does come in. See what Lucas can do here. He is on the Wraith at the very least. He's going to be a bit more slippery. He's got all the utility to work with it as all the loot is around him. We're on board with 6XZs who are controlling that northwest snake here in Harvester. So this could be the strong winning position for themselves. Now, they haven't been able to do much throughout the game. It looks like they don't have that many kill points. It's Team Rockstar who've been farming a lot of this lobby.
Yeah, the aggressive play from Rockstar reminds us what we saw in game number 1 from Team Applejacks. You'd see so much damage from TEQ already. 1700 with the R9 massive combination, gold mag, 2x. Feeling really good about their positioning. Yeah, you do have that team on the inside, but I'll take this high ground any day of the week.
Yeah, 10 kills between Crummy and TEQ right now. We know Matt Pickett has a few as well. And so this is shaping up to be a similar game to Applejacks' game number 1, which is important here. Pop-Tart's pushing up. It's just Lucas by himself. Swervesy will finish them off. So 6XZs now brings it down to 3 squads. It's a 3v3v2 here, as this final circle will, of course, pull into Snake area. This high ground angle for Rockstar. They can try to hold it for a bit, but they might be able to drop down early and try to control the roof of Snake here. It's Rice Krispie Cheats who are the duo. Stunny gets spotted out from that high ground. Gets tagged big, but he will be able to heal up for the time being. Nades has, of course, that drone to work off of. So I love seeing the difference of compositions here in the late game.
We'll see which composition gets played to maximum effectiveness, and I have a feeling that it's going to be a big black hole coming in from Crummy. Question is, how many nades does everybody have on his team? Because the black hole, while it's great, it's not really useful unless you are going to throw down some thermites, maybe some arc stars. Frags will even do the trick, but do take 3 seconds to blow up overall. So we'll see exactly how this one gets played. Really comes down to this duo too. Where is the duo going to focus? Where are they going to put their resources at? Because if it's going to be over towards Team Rockstar, you know that the cells are going to have to be popped. You're going to have to be reloading your weapons as well. Multiple armor swaps over towards the top hand side. So double purples are going to be pretty useful if anyone wants to go and try to do something crazy over here and get a little bit of aggressive. It's going to be anyone. It has to be TEQ because he's the only one with some sort of escape throughout all of that. The rest of the players just going to sit back and let this one unfold. They're trying to get pings down on where they think players are going to go and make their play. And it looks like it's going to be a portal play from inside all the way down to directly below them, which is a pretty smart play considering that it's difficult to shoot directly down because once you do that, you're really exposing yourself over towards the side and you're not really having any different type of line of sight on where you could potentially be taken down from. So here it comes. It's going to be a minute and 30 seconds for this one to close. We'll see if Rockstar is going to be able to end this big game.
Beast of the Hunt is going to get popped by Matt Pickett, giving him the additional scans. A cooldown, just about 6 seconds there, as they're waiting this one out. It is the slow circle, and so they're waiting for someone to make a mistake first here, as we do have the full commit going down, dropping down into the bubble as they get the first knock onto Bird. Rice Krispie Treats now down to just a solo. Matt Pickett is taking a lot of damage throughout all of that. And he does survive for the time being, uses that gravity lift, or might have just been abducted by Krabby himself. But they get the first knock. Lane goes down. 6XZ now down to a 2v1 as TEQ has finished this one off here. He goes in with that Wraith, takes some ring damage here. Does have the angle, but now as he goes back into the ring, he takes so much damage. He's down to about 150 HP with the shield as well. They're trying to buy time for the bats. Still in this 2v1. Can TEQ do it on this Wraith? Forcing out the wide swing, goes out with that massive, now has only about 70 HP left, and 6XZ is just gonna wait this one out as TEQ goes for the peak. He's taking so much damage here, and he's trying his best to survive. Here comes the swing out. Does he even get an armor swap? No, he does not. 6XZ will be able to finish that one off. But we have to understand, Rockstar had a lot of kills in that game, in game number 2.